Greetings from the Toyota patio here at SoFi Stadium, and welcome to a holiday edition of Between the Horns, as always, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm JB Long, Ricky Hollywood, DeMarco Farr.
I'm tanning. This is nice. This is nice weather.
Compared, yeah.
Yes, I like this weather.
Week 16, 3 to go. Could be near 80 degrees for Christmas Sunday here in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Will not be a white Christmas.
80 degree Christmas Day. I love L.A., don't you guys?
Yeah,
Come on.
I could use a little snow.
Yeah.
I mean, we can manufacture that maybe.
Careful what you say about the
I
weather
know.
around this guy after what he endured on
saying.
Monday night.
Oh, my God. Was it cold in the booth? Was it that cold? Was it freezing up there?
We utilize bratwurst and cheese curds
Look
to
at you
keep us
guys.
fueled.
Wow. It was cold down there. It really was. That was one of those opportunities to really be tough for a hot minute. But it was fun. It was fun to be down there, yeah.
We will put our finishing thoughts on that loss to the Packers, spin it ahead to a Christmas Day game against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. But first, just a life check-in. Erica, good to see you in person.
Yeah,
Scary
survived.
week for you.
Yeah, I had a little peanut allergy scare, but I
Yikes.
made it through the night. I am a cockroach. Can't get rid of me.
Thank goodness for that.
Wow.
Can't kill me.
Wow.
Yet.
DeMarco, how you holding up? Finished shopping for the ladies in your life?
I think so, yeah. Santa came down the chimney last night, so there's presents under the tree. Everybody's happy, so, yeah.
Another good year for Santa. Well done.
Yeah, even with a Monday nighter, Santa can't take a day off. Absolutely not. Yeah.
What'd you get me?
Well, I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
wait for a couple of
An
days.
EpiPen.
Yeah.
Right.
I got that.
What are we wearing on Sunday? We're going to go festive?
Yeah, I think, okay, all of us in leather pants.
No.
That was the secret to the win over the Raiders now
Yeah.
that I reflect on it.
Also, too, I was thinking, JB, like, you know, I have a good feeling about Christmas. It's a Christmas Day game. Our defense is playing really great. I think it's going to be a good game. So I think that maybe for your radio calls, right, you should try to insert some sort of, like, boom shakalaka or, like, something different for
Boom
Christmas.
shakalaka
Or,
for
like,
Christmas.
or ho, ho, ho. I don't want to tell you how to do your job because you're the best at it. But, like, what about a ho, 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 there he goes? Or something like that.
We got a few more days to workshop, but I like where your head is at.
Wow.
What do you have cooking? What's in the hopper for SoFi Stadium on Sunday?
I'm excited. I've been working on a Christmas sketch video that I'm excited to
I had
tweet
a
out.
feeling.
Yeah, it's and you might make a little cameo in it. Your
Very.
voice. Very small. He says jock straps in my video.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jock straps.
There are more important cameos. I've seen a screening of it. DeMarco, I mean, we're all wearing Rams garb today, but
Yeah.
do we break with tradition, try and shake things up a little bit?
I wish I could. I want to wear like the ugly Christmas sweater down on the sideline, but I'm down there with Bobby Wagner, who's busy. Imagine me on the sideline and Jalen Ramsey walks by and I got the ugly sweater on.
I was
That would not
actually
go
thinking
well.
of you last night. Tom Izzo, Michigan State basketball coach, got a technical in an elf outfit that he was wearing on
Oh,
the
that's
sideline.
hilarious.
He wore a full-on elf suit.
I think you could get away with that.
I'd rather wear the leather pants than the elf suit. Yeah, let's go there.
Are we intentionally vamping and staying away from the Rams' most recent loss? I hope not. Let's put our final thoughts on that trip to Green Bay. DeMarco, any lasting takeaways from what you saw on the frozen tundra?
Oh, man, let's see. That defense is prideful, doing everything they can to keep the game close. What game got away from the Rams this year defensively when you think about
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay kind of got away from them.
Yeah,
There was
but
help
not
there.
until the end.
Yeah, but not too many.
Oh, you
So-
mean like came off the rails?
Came
got
off
away
the
from-
rails,
Oh, I
got
thought
away
I
from
thought you were talking about a victory got away.
No,
from
had
them.
a chance to win and lost. I got you there. But I mean, like, got away, got blown out, got run off the field. I don't think that's actually happened. So very prideful, even though the names keep changing, except for a handful of guys out there. So that stands out. The offense, we were wondering what would happen, Baker Mayfield part 2, once you have tape on him. So you got the win versus the Raiders. That was great. Green Bay made it tough on you, really tough on you. So I guess those – and then if you're Sean McVay, what are you down to? What can you do and who can you do it with at this point? So that's what I thought in between trying to figure out how to stay warm down there.
What he's referencing is Brian Allen dinged up on the first play, left after the second play, so you're without your center for the bulk of that game. Ben Skoranek able to play through, but now both of those guys shut down for the rest of this remaining 3-game year. Erica, you were watching from afar on Monday night?
Yeah, actually, I was with Barefoot Wine and the Rams. We did a wine and watch party in West Hollywood, which was actually really fun. And we had the heaters going because it was like a balmy 70 degrees. So we lit up the heaters. We're outside drinking wine, watching the game, and I was I was impressed with the defense. I know Aaron Rodgers had some of his weapons back. He had some of the rookies that he's been gaining connection with back, which was good to see. Our defense really sort of, we were talking about it earlier, that, Jalen Ramsey taking the ball away from Aaron Jones, who I benched out of solidarity, just so, I made
Did
that
you survive?
clear. Yeah,
Bench
no, I
didn't
lost.
answer it? Okay.
I'm out of the playoffs. But that's okay, I'm mathematically eliminated, but scarier things have happened.
They sure have.
What wine goes with football? I
All
know
of
beer
it.
goes with football.
All of
Barefoot
them.
wine goes with football, right?
All of them.
All of wine goes with football? What was
Yeah.
your point? What'd you say?
Barefoot.
Barefoot wine
Barefoot
goes
wine.
with football. Okay,
Yeah.
checking in there.
Official wine
Yeah.
sponsor of the Los Angeles Rams.
Of course.
I don't want to do your bit. But
No, go ahead.
To
Go
her,
ahead.
to her point about the defense, I've been answering questions about off coverage since we left Green Bay. Haven't you guys too?
Since you left Green Bay last year?
No.
Or just last week?
Or just last week? Yeah, you're right, about last year
I'm
too.
thinking all of 2022.
About off
what it feels
coverage.
Yeah.
like.
So they're asking me, and I'm like, are we watching the same game? It's like playing chess against Deep Blue, man. I mean, and you lost your queen. You're shorthanded defensively. Your best pass rusher is your middle linebacker. What would you call?
Yeah, you felt that. Aaron Donald's absence is what he's
No
talking
doubt.
about. You
Yeah.
felt that for sure against Aaron Rodgers and company. I'll try and play silver lining guy here. How about Taylor Rapp? Back-to-back interceptions.
Yes. His
contract
birthday this
year,
week, too.
and exactly. Happy birthday to Taylor Rapp. It's nice to see him playing well, playing some of his best football at this closing stretch. But yes, the Rams are depleted, and now they have to deal with the Denver Broncos. Looks like Russell Wilson, who was cleared from the concussion protocol, they opted not to play him against the Arizona Cardinals in a win. Will get the start here at SoFi Stadium. So their old friend has changed teams, changed colors. Rams look completely different, but DeMarco, there'll have to be some familiarity with Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson.
Well, you kind of know what Russell's going to do and what he can do and what he wants to do, and it's going to be a little bit different because 99's not out there to chase him around and, give him a hard time. But, there were some bright spots. I like the defensive line. I like the way they played against Green Bay, the way they defended the run, so that will help you. If you can force the game back in onto Russell Wilson and make him try to beat you throwing the football, you've got a better chance. But just like with Green Bay and everyone else, if you don't stop the run and you give Russell Wilson the benefit of play action, not only might he beat you, he probably will. I mean, and Denver is good enough, even though they're struggling to do just that. So, and remember, we're trying to figure out who's going to start now for the Rams. This is going to be an adventure every single time out. So nothing is guaranteed. But I do know this. The way they played in Green Bay, if you can carry that over to Denver, you'll have a better chance of beating the Broncos here on Christmas Day.
We'll take an individual deep dive on Baker Mayfield in just a second, but picking up the Broncos thread while we're on it, Latavius Murray coming off the best rushing performance of the year for the Denver Broncos. And even if you go back 2 weeks, a near comeback against the Kansas City Chiefs could have been Russell Wilson's best performance as a Bronco before he got knocked out in that game. So I think there's reason to be optimistic for a matchup between 4-win teams that the Broncos may have turned a corner. We'll see what it looks like here at SoFi Stadium. But their profile, Erica, is a bit like the Rams in that offensively, they just have not been able to find much traction, but their defense has proven to be elite.
Yeah, definitely. Defense is good. Their offense, like you just said, I think they're 32nd in total offense, which is there's 32 teams, last in the league. So with our defense playing, just wanted to, spell it out. So 32 teams. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. But no, they've been their offense, like you just said, 2, 4, and 10 teams against each other. Their defense, I think, has leading the league in takeaways and interceptions. So I think it's going to be a huge defensive game for both sides. I think that is where we're going to see a lot of this play.
Come on, Cam Akers. I like Cam Akers. I always have. I really have. I like the way he's run. I like the way he ran in Green Bay. I mean, when you're a 4-10 football team and you're struggling, the best thing you can hope for is a running back that likes to take on people. So do it again against Denver and control the football game. Do the best you can, take pressure off Baker Mayfield, and help your defense out. Help them stay on the bench a little bit longer so they can recharge and stop the Broncos offense when it matters most.
Yeah, Cam's had an edge to him, let's just say, since the trade deadline passed and he rejoined the Rams, talking about ruining some opponents' Cheerios down this closing stretch of 2022. You didn't catch that one in the locker room?
I missed the Cheerios.
Go check it out
Okay.
offline.
I like Cheerios. He didn't diss Cheerios, did he?
No.
Okay.
No, but you wouldn't like these Cheerios.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield, second game as a Ram. Look, we knew when they took on the Raiders that was one of the worst passing defenses in the National Football League, and I thought they exploited it even on short preparation. It seemed like he was getting a lot of his first looks and delivering the football on time and in rhythm. Had a feeling that against our old friend Joe Barry, things might be different against the Packers because their secondary is more accomplished, and it felt that way. Why couldn't they get things going through the passing game in Green Bay?
Well, like we said, I think it's a matter of personnel and how they were playing you. And when you had to hold the football, and Joe Barry, when you have Baker Mayfield, is take away the first read, make him have to scan the field and come back to his second or third read. By that time, Preston Smith has beaten his man. So that's going to be the game plan going forward. The thing that always startles me or stops me about Baker Mayfield is when he walks by, I can see the top of his head. And I'm not very tall, you know what I mean?
And he's not trying to headbutt you.
He's not trying to headbutt me. I don't want any part of that headbutt. But he's not very tall, so there's only so many things you can do with a quarterback that size. You know what I mean? So if you don't have the benefit of a Cooper Kupp, somebody that's special, that goes beyond, then your playbook is limited. And once they know that and they start taking away that first read, then you force him to be a scrambler. Who wants to be a scrambler at this point in the season?
Didn't do a ton of that. Didn't run as effectively in Game 2 as he did in Game 1. But Sean McVay talked about, some of the challenges that he faced in that game, and we understand a lot of the dynamic they're working with, especially personnel-wise. But on these three-level concepts that McVay and his offense are known for, if you do, successfully turn the corner on that boot, if one is taken away, let's say it's Tutu Atwell. If two is taken away, let's say it's Van Jefferson. Who is three? Like
Higbee.
Okay. Or maybe you're back.
Right.
And I think he was self-critical, saying I didn't get to the early checkdowns efficiently and accurately enough. But the challenge is who are those threes? Where are they coming from in the formation? Are they coming off pre-snap motion? Are they coming off the slot? Are they coming out of the backfield? And I think that's probably the week-to-week room for growth. We talked about hitting the layups going to Green Bay and why that was going to be so important. They couldn't. They didn't. And I think that's part of the reason why they were unsuccessful offensively, save for that one touchdown to Tyler Higbee. Another familiar defensive coordinator this week, Joe Barry with the Packers, Coach E. Coach Evero was awesome here with the Los Angeles Rams, and he's been a bright spot for the Broncos. I think he's going to get head coaching interviews, it seems like.
I hope so. We were just talking about hot head coaching prospects, and if their record was flipped, I bet we'd be talking more about him. Some other guys as well. But, yeah, here's another guy that knows what you like to do, familiarity with your offense, plus how you like to call the game and what you like to try to do in certain situations. It's all different now because the personnel is different, but the philosophies are there. So look for him more than Joe Barry to take advantage of you pressure-wise, sending you more than you can block, and see if he can force you into making a big mistake that way. So I think if you take some of what the Packers did, what their defense did, and match it to what the Broncos can do, I would bet all-out smoke going towards Baker Mayfield on game day.
And McVay cheekily kind of commenting, like, if Evero knows what we're doing, like, good on him, because we don't yet know what we're doing. Like, yes, these individuals that we're matching up against have a sense of who we are and who we want to be, but we're still trying to figure that out midweek on game week. Eric, a big deal or no deal, Bobby Wagner, a Pro Bowl snub? What was your take on?
I completely disagree. I think that we were kind of talking about this earlier. I think maybe it had to do with our record.
For sure, that.
Well, definitely, but also sort of the media and like what people are talking about on Twitter on Sundays and stuff like that. I think people have kind of not been as plugged in as they have in years past. Rudy, our producer, was talking to me. He said, Aaron Donald, who is in his 9th straight Pro Bowl, is like Meryl Streep for the Oscars. They just write her in no matter what. He doesn't even have to be there.
And I don't have a problem with Aaron Donald making it. I think he should be
absolutely.
The Meryl Streep of the Pro Bowl, but I think you can make the case this has been one of Bobby Wagner's better career years.
Definitely.
It gets washed out by the 10 losses, but I think he deserves to be there the way he's played.
You passed right over Meryl Streep and Aaron Donald? I'd never pictured Meryl Streep grabbing somebody by the throat. Never. It just never. Wow.
She can do it all.
But I see where you're going. But it's not fair in the NFL. And think about this. There's so many things in sports that we just kind of acknowledge and move on. Boxing, to win, you got to knock the champion out. I don't agree with that, but that's what people think. Bobby Wagner's best games came in losses.
Yeah.
And on the other side, think of Fred Warner. Most of his big games came in wins, so one's going to stand out more than the other. But it's not going to cost Bobby Wagner any money. You're not going to pay him less because he didn't make the Pro Bowl, and this is not going to hurt his Hall of Fame chances. if anything, it's going to bolster them. He's been great. He's been the best inside linebacker in the game. He's outproduced everybody.
I just feel like
and
a
he's
personal
done it with a revolving cast in front of him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like have a personal like just to see what he's done for this locker room and the leadership too. Like I just wanted that for him. And I'm sure he's probably like, hey, it's a flag football game this year. Like I'm good. But I just to see how instrumental he's been to this team and some of these younger players too. It just felt like it would have been the icing on the cake.
More and more, I'm just struggling with the Pro Bowl as an accolade. Like
right.
Major League Baseball, you're like, oh, he's a 13-time All-Star. I'm like, yeah, they vote for that in spring training. Like, what does that mean? They put it in the middle of the year. I don't want that to be the case for Pro Bowls in the National Football League, but more and more, I can't even put that on a resume. Like, if you're evaluating his Hall of Fame credentials, which are secured, no doubt about it, but I'm leaning towards how many times did he lead the league in tackling? How many times was he an All-Pro? I guess what I'm saying is when a third of the Pro Bowl voting is like retweets on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah, it's a popular. Look, I had it explained to me. It was 1995, 11 and a half sacks. I think I led all D tackles and forced fumbles, and I did not make the Pro Bowl.
Wait, keep going. Keep going. What else about that?
Not
year?
even an alternate.
Dust that
I had
dirt
a few
off.
picks that year.
Okay,
but
there
not
you go.
even an alternate. And it was explained to me, hey, look, this is a popularity contest. It doesn't mean that much to not make it or make it. So everyone knows that you're a good player. Same with Bobby Wagner. I don't think the Denver Broncos are going to say, oh, we can forget about him because he didn't make the Pro Bowl. I mean, when you line up on game day, the first guys you have to worry about outside of Aaron Donald is him and then Jalen Ramsey. Everyone knows this. So if you don't make the Pro Bowl, it's not the end of the world.
If Aaron is Merrill, what's DeMarco then in the Pro Bowl context?
We'll think about that with leather pants on.
Yeah.
And Cheerios.
The amount of people that have asked me about getting you in leather pants, like even at a company outing last night at Topgolf, people have come to me and be like, do you think DeMarco's going to get in leather pants?
There's not a bet big enough that I would say yes to where leather pants and me in them would be part of it. No,
I think it'd be sexy. I think you could pull it off.
Meryl Streep and Aaron Donald.
I feel like we're getting to the end of this edition of Between the Horns, but you bounced back from a near-death nut allergy experience to play Topgolf last night?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a hero.
Wow.
Awesome.
Does that count as a Rams activation off the injured reserve?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
We're running out of space here on the roster. Final key for Rams and Broncos. DeMarco, what are you looking forward to on Sunday besides unwrapping the presents with your family?
I'd like to see Tutu Atwell get in the end zone. That would be fun. I think there's a lot there. I think, look, the kid's too explosive to not score, at least threaten to score every game. And I think he's a great flopper. He is a World Cup level flopper when it comes to PIs, right? I mean, he's great at it. I even said that to him in the locker room, and he just laughed. So I like to see him get in the end zone. And Cam Akers, has he changed perception for you guys? Is he back?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll stop short of sure was to your first question.
Yeah.
Back, I don't know yet, but change perception, yes.
I think he's done everything right, save for hold on to the football in some key situations, which you can't do. And I think that's entirely fixable. So I'd like to see him have a great game, by extension Baker Mayfield, and throwing the Tutu Atwell. I hope that happens.
This game will get the Erica Tamposi bit. It'll also get the Nickelodeon treatment.
Yes.
It's nice to see some Rams slimed.
Yeah, that'll be great. There was a video of Baker getting slimed actually up at the training facility, which was really fun, and you should go check it out.
Awesome.
Hopefully we don't get slimed. Or maybe we do. I don't know.
Broncos, Chargers, Seahawks to finish. And speaking of Bobby Wagner, cannot wait to get him back to Seattle. Hope he's in line to get
Also
that standing
against Russell
ovation
Wilson, like
at
that
Lemon
can't go.
Field. Yeah, it does feel like a long time since we talked about the potential showdown with Russell Wilson. Obviously, everyone had bigger hopes for this game than where we landed, but there is that connection to be certain. Happy holidays, everyone. From DeMarco Farr and Erica Tamposi, I'm JB Long. Thank you for joining us here on the Toyota patio at SoFi Stadium. Hope you can join us for the Rams' home finale against the Denver Broncos coming your way this Christmas Sunday. And thanks, as always, for joining us for Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers.